My brother, Paul Martinson, and I were born in China and spent a good portion of our childhood there. So we became very close to China and to her people. It was through these friendships with the Chinese that we met on campus that we came to realize how severely isolated they had been for all these years. And for them to be transplanted into a culture vastly different from their own was not easy. And that fall, we decided that without a place, without funding, without personnel, we would do something.
I was an atheist before I came to the States 20 years ago. But deep in my heart, I have wished so hardly that there was a God. But there was no one to talk to, and there is no place to look for the answer. So when I look back now, I see God already prepared His people at HCC to lead me to know Him.
We saw God work in so many ways. These Chinese people were so hungry. They asked a lot of questions.
And so we started praying that somehow God would make it possible for us to expand the ministry. And it wasn't until years later that China Service Ventures came into the picture, and together with the Hospitality Center for Chinese purchased the entire building, which was a tremendous answer to prayer even back 10 years ago.
That's the things that you see happen here often. People that are coming in with issues or problems, concerns, they need help with all kinds of things. And the volunteers and the staff here can step forward in wonderful ways to help them through those difficulties. And that was the thing that I enjoyed while I was working here. And it's the thing that I know will be a blessing to anybody else that comes and works here, because the Chinese need you, but you are also so greatly blessed by working with them.
I think the most effective part of HCC's ministry is the ability to connect Christians with our Chinese friends. I started off as a volunteer, and my first event was a canoe trip. I got paired with a Chinese girl I'd never met before, and we spent 3 hours paddling down the river. And from that day, we were able to connect and stay in touch. And a few months later, she gave her life to Christ. And I was amazed that that worked, that friendship and talking, that God used something so simple as a canoe trip to bring glory to Himself and to bring another daughter into the kingdom.
I still remember the first day I arrived in the US. I stepped into the apartment I rented. It was totally empty. I was so helpless because I didn't know where to buy the furniture, and without a car, I didn't know how to move it. 2 days later, I got every piece of furniture I needed from a church. I used to believe there's no free lunch in the world, and no matter what you want, you strive to earn it. However, after I have been helped by so many Christians, I realized that God's love is unconditional. When I moved to Minnesota, HCC helped us with everything. So now I'm trying to get involved in HCC because to become a Christian has changed my life into a world which is filled with love. I want to spread God's love through HCC and change more people's lives.
Hundreds of Chinese students come each year to earn their degree, and they're hungry and eager to interact with Americans. Mostly, these students have been taught that there is no God. We offer classes and events 6 days a week at the center across the street from the University of Minnesota. Our hospitality is often best expressed by dozens of host families who offer their homes 1 week a year to the students arriving for fall or spring semesters. This video depicts many scenes of our varied ministries, including picking up students at the airport when they first arrive, offering them furniture for their apartments, bringing them a huge welcome picnic where they can see other students freshly arrived from China or already studying here. The Hospitality Center for Chinese is an ideal place for Christians who want to reach out to Chinese peoples to do so without buying a plane ticket and without learning a whole new language.
We want to see our Chinese students coming to know Christ and then being able to witness to their peers, both here in America and back in China.
For those of you who are learning about the ministry of the Hospitality Center, or even are considering volunteering there, I would say it's definitely worth the effort and the time.
I want to thank Jesus, my Savior, my Lord, and my best friend. And also, I want to thank you, friends of Jesus, friends of HCC, and friends of Chinese students and scholars who study here.